Crypto.com has been on a wild ride since it began in June of 2016. It's had a lot of ups and downs and made lots of people question, including myself, if it could make it in the long run. Despite all the exchanges this past year going under and why I was worried Crypto.com could be next, my confidence has grown a ton and I'm convinced Crypto.com is here to stay. Make sure to stick around to hear how I plan to double or triple my position in Crow later in this video. So after Crypto.com launched in 2016, the Crypto.com exchange was launched just 3 years later in 2019. Now since then they've released an app, the Crypto.com Visa card, Crypto Earn program, the DeFi wallet and that was launched on Crypto.org chain powered by Kronos or the Crow token, also the NFT platform, and even a few more things since then. When the exchange launched back in 2019, we were in the middle of a bear market, headed towards an upward trend, but still well below all-time highs for so many coins. So this was a tough time to be an exchange since trading volumes were extremely low and there were already well-established exchanges that had been around for 5+ years, such as Coinbase and Kraken. So they launched the MCO Visa card back in 2019. First off, MCO was a token created by Crypto.com primarily for the Visa card. So if you haven't heard of it, this is just a little backstory on where it came from. So it was a token you had to lock up for the Visa card and your rewards were paid out in MCO tokens instead of Crow tokens. You could get the Midnight Blue with 1% back for free, Ruby Red for staking 50 MCO tokens and get 2%, and 500 MCO tokens for Royal Indigo or Jade Green with 3%, 5,000 MCO tokens for Icy White or Rose Gold for 4%, and Obsidian with 50,000 MCO tokens for 5%. You had to lock up these tokens for 6 months to get the benefits, including the Spotify, Netflix, Amazon Prime, and all those other ones. So these numbers changed over time a lot, and the MCO token was taken out completely, and just Crow was the only token. So MCO was just for the debit card, like I said before, and Crow was the exchange token for lower fees, etc. So it was a lot easier to just combine the two purposes into just the Crow token. That happened officially in August of 2020, and there were lots of upset Crypto.com customers for these changes because they had to sell their MCO tokens for Crow tokens. So Crypto.com tried to make it a little bit nicer by giving an additional 20% more Crow tokens when you would swap your MCO tokens for them than you would normally get. Now, people were upset with the timing of all of this because MCO hadn't really been performing that well as of late, and Crow was reaching its all-time highs of about 15 cents or so at the time. Now, the platform had grown a lot in 2020, and by the end of 2020, Crypto.com had about 5 million users. The Visa cards had multiple changes in just 4 to 6 months in those times, changing from only needing 1,000 Crow tokens to get Ruby Red, and then 100,000 for Obsidian, then to 2,500 for Ruby Red, and 250,000 for Obsidian, and finally, just like in January of 2021, it changed to 5,000 for Ruby Red and 500,000 for Obsidian, which made customers very upset, to finally making it a dollar amount in February, where it changed from, instead of being 5,000 tokens to $400 worth of Crow tokens for Ruby Red and $400,000 worth of tokens for the Obsidian. Now the cashback also changed for Icy White and Obsidian from the original 4% for Icy White to 5% and 5% to 8% for Obsidian. Also around this time in February during 2021, they started with one of the biggest token burns in the company's history. They burned about 70 billion tokens, which brought the total market cap from 100 billion down to 30 billion, and made the circulating supply go from just about 20% all the way up to 80%. Now this was a huge move and a huge change and a good direction for the company and for the coin as well, and that's why we saw a huge increase from the price of Crow in that month, going from 8 to 10 cents all the way up to 20 to 25 cents, peaking out and then coming back down to like 15 or so cents. And then in the middle of 2021 and towards the end of the year, they had launched the DeFi wallet and their NFT platform. Also having big partnerships throughout the year, such as the UFC and the Staples Center becoming the Crypto.com arena at the end of the year. End of 2021, Crypto.com had roughly 30 million users based on my calculations. I couldn't find the exact number, but the one that I did see said they hit 10 million users in February of 2021 and 50 million users in May of 2022. So that's like my rough estimate. End of 2022, Crypto.com had over 80 million users in over 90 different countries. Now that they're approaching 100 million users, and in 2020, they said they were hoping to reach 100 million users by 2025, and they're actually going to achieve that goal this year, 2 years before they expected. But now they came out with an AMA recently and explained how their goal is to now reach 250 million users by 2025. Now, another big thing, as of recent, just a few days ago, at the time of this recording, there was an announcement that says Amazon Web Services is working with Kronos Lab to support the Web3 startup scales and grow through the Kronos Accelerator program to develop DeFi, GameFi, SocialFi, and infrastructure applications. So according to Kronos, Amazon will be helping startups through the Kronos Accelerator program, which is a 3-month program designed to jumpstart new Web3 focused companies. Now, this is amazing news since it shows that Amazon sees the value that crypto brings and the development of Web3 projects, which just provides even more of a reason that Kronos is here to stay despite any negativity headed its way. Crypto.com took the necessary measures at the right time to avoid the worst possible outcome like other exchanges experience. Not gonna lie, I was super scared of it happening to Crypto.com. They made changes and cuts far in advance, such as early 2022, and more just a few months following. These upset a ton of people, including myself, and I thought they were just ruining their relationships they built with the customers, but really they wanted to prepare for the worst and make sure that they don't end up like other exchanges. I would have much rather seen these changes they made than to see another exchange going bankrupt, especially one I trusted so much. Now, these changes started with them dropping the crypto earn program rates. So I can't remember or find the exact rates they changed, but from just a BTC and USDC and Crow staking, I'm pretty sure they made it about half or more of these prices before. Because I remember you could earn, I want to say like 6% for BTC. I believe it was close to 12% for USDC, and also 8 to 10 or 12% for Crow as well. To changing those down to now it's like, or to changing it to 1.5% for BTC, all the way to 6.5% for USDC, and also 6% for Crow, and that's with the highest lockup of 40,000 or more worth of Crow, and with the 3-month lockup. There are also tiers now where if you have over $30,000 in just one of these rates, after that, it's half of the percentage that you would get for anything after that 30,000. So the Visa cards also changed, dropping from those rates of 2% for Ruby Red, 3 for Indigo Green, 5 for Icy White and Rose Gold, and 8 for Obsidian, to 0.5% for Ruby Red, 1.5 for Indigo and Jade Green, 3% for Icy White and Rose Gold, and 5% for Obsidian. They also added a cap for the Ruby Red of $25 and for the Indigo and Jade Green for $50. But basically what that meant is you would need to spend $5,000 a month to hit that cap for the Ruby Red, and like $3,000 for the Indigo or Jade Green. So to me, it wasn't like a huge deal with that. But they wanted to also take out the staking received with the cards as well, instead of the rates of 8 to 12% before. So you'd lock it up for 6 months and you'd earn 8 to 12% based on the card that you got. The community, including myself, was very vocal about their feelings and being upset with these changes. That just a couple days later after that, they took back a lot of the things that they said. They gave the staking back, and they said it'd be 4% for the lower tier cards and 8% for the ones like Icy White or higher. And they also changed the Netflix and Spotify rebate to being only for the first 6 months for the Ruby Red, Indigo, and Jade Green card, but also increased the cash back to 1% and 2% instead of the previous 0.5 and 1.5%. So now in order to reach the cap, you'd have to spend $2,500 a month for both of those cards. Now, there were a lot of changes in numbers to go over, so in summary, the cards got worse over time, but are still worth it in my opinion, and still very solid, just not as amazing as before. But the Crypto Earn program got hit a lot harder, and I've kind of moved away from staking for the most part, since a lot of exchanges don't offer it anymore or as high a percentage anymore. Now, just a few days ago, there was a Crypto.com AMA that happened, I want to say like 2 days ago, and they talked about the 250 million, that was their new goal by 2025, but they also talked about how they potentially could bring back these higher rewards and better rewards for the Visa cards, once we're in a bull run again. So that's something that they discussed and a potential thing for the future of the cards. Something that I'm not gonna like hold my hopes for, like high hopes for. I'm just gonna continue with the numbers that we have now and continue with those. But if it does happen, that would be really nice. But like I said, I'm just gonna continue with the numbers that we have and the position that we're currently in. Now, why are these prices so good for Crow? And what am I currently doing? So currently I've been buying $10 a week for our trading challenge of 1,000 to 100,000 Crow, which we basically started at the peak when Crow was at like 70 cents. And each week, $10 a week would get us like 10 to 20 Crow, something along those lines. And then now, fast forward to a year and a half later, we're getting, with those saved $10, we're getting between 100 and 200 Crow a week. So we are now over like 7,000 Crow and almost to 10% of our goal. And most of that is coming in from buying $10 a week. We're doing little bits of trades here and there and working on just making 5 to 10 Crow, sometimes even 20 per trade. But just this dollar cost averaging over time is really what is building the foundation and building this portfolio. I also want to be adding to my position for the long term at these cheap prices, but I've just been patiently waiting for the best time for me to start to dollar cost average more into crypto since I haven't bought in a while. Now, I believe I can double or triple my Crow position before the next bull run from buying, dollar cost averaging, from doing little trades here and there, also from the debit cards. So here's some good ways to look at the price action as well. If you're using your Crypto.com debit card and earning between 1% and 3% back in Crow, you're getting about 10 to 15 times more Crow than you were a year and a half ago. So if you're bullish in the long term and you can see a 10x or maybe even a 30x from here, you can take that 1% to 3% cash back that you're earning paid out in Crow, and you'd be looking at a 10 to 30% back with a 10x from here. So if Crow went from 7 cents to 70 cents, instead of you just earning that 1% to 3%, you would earn 10 to 30%. And then if it went to like a 30x to like $2, you'd be getting a 30 to 90% increase. So I like to keep this kind of mindset when moving along with this because it helps be long-term thinking and just be working towards increasing the portfolio size and not really focused on the amount, especially the amount of dollars right now. If I'm looking at the amount of coins that I'm holding, I just know what the potential could be. So any Crow I'm earning or making from trades may seem super small, like not like a lot, but in the long run, it'll make a big difference. Now the rebates for the Netflix, Spotify, and Amazon Prime are also going to be higher if you were earning those, since you would earn about 200 Crow or so right now with each of those rebates, which could potentially turn into $200 back a month if Crow gets to $1 in the years to come. So I know the rebates aren't going to be for every card, but if you do have a higher tier card and you're consistently getting those, then that would be consistently getting you a lot more Crow. Now, lastly, Crypto.com has had an amazing, strong community. It's incredible to be a part of it. When I first got into the Crypto.com exchange back in the end of 2020, I wasn't really sure about it. I didn't know any other people that were on the platform besides myself. My confidence has increased a lot over the years, even despite its ups and downs. So I believe that Crypto.com is here to stay. They have also grown and expanded into so many new things, such as their DeFi platform, NFT platform, even education platform for users to learn and become educated in the different aspects of crypto. I think it's called the Crypto.com University or something like that. While there are no guarantees in the cryptocurrency market, Crypto.com exchange has positioned itself to withstand the challenges of a bear market and emerge as a leading exchange in the years to come. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, as always, keep it in the green.